friends, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, we're surrounded by books and some school stuff, but I need to bring that stuff to my classroom, so please ignore the mess that is my library right now. I meant to film this video earlier and to have this video up already, but as per normal right now, I am very far behind in filming and editing, and I've just been I just have a lot of stuff on my mind right now, so I haven't really taken the time to film, and I apologize for kind of being late on a lot of my videos lately and just not being as much a part of the community as I want to. I'm hoping that that'll change soon, but I don't know for sure. I was saying on my June TBR, which I'll link right here, up here somewhere. I was saying that I'm taking part in 5 readathons in the month of June, and I understand it's like halfway through June, so I am so sorry that I didn't get this out sooner. But I was going to quickly go through all 5 of these readathons, and I'm going to try and link all the creators down below. The first one I'm going to be talking about is the Whatever-A-Thon, or Whatever-You-Want-A-Thon, put on by Maddie from Book Browsing Blog. Like I said, I'm going to try and link everything down below. Please be patient with me though. I picked the team Shelf Slayers because their prompts felt more like something I could do. Although with the Whatever-A-Thon, you can literally pick any books you want. You can read whatever you want. That's why it's called Whatever-You-Want-A-Thon. I am just competitive, and I really like competing to the best of my abilities. So you can get a bingo board based on whatever team you pick, and you get points for filling out this bingo board and for reading the amount of books that you say that you're going to read. And yeah, so let's just go through my bingo board. You can use one book up to 3 times on the bingo board. You will see that I definitely did that a few times. So the first prompt for Shelf Slayers is borrow a book. For that, I'm picking The Serpent King by Jeff Zentner. That's because I think in the season-a-thon for winter, was it winter or spring? I think it might have been the spring season-a-thon put on by Melanie, Kalani, and Clint. They have a season-a-thon, so they have a readathon once a season with different prompts and different themes. I think the group book was The Serpent King, and that's where I first heard about this book. And because they were reading it, I really wanted to read with them, so I bought it intending to read it with them, and then I didn't read it. So I'm counting that as a borrowed book because I'm borrowing it from their TBR. It works. The Anne of, or A. So we have The Serpent King again. Under 300 pages. So for under 300 pages, I'm reading Unsolved Deaths by Charles Phillips, Strange Deaths and Mysterious Disappearances. It's actually a graphic novel. Kind of. I mean, it's nonfiction, but it has pictures, and it tells about interesting and weird cases, and it's 224 pages, including the index and the credits. Then have a cozy reading time at some point that I haven't done, but I can do. Recently hauled books, so for that one, I had a different book planned, but then I went book shopping today and decided that I'm going to pick a book that I just now bought today. You haven't even seen it on my channel yet. And for that, I'm going to pick Beach Read by Emily Henry. So this follows two authors, which usually I hate books that have a bookish setting or that have to do with like authors or anything like that, so it scares me. But I've heard such amazing things about this, so we're going to give it a shot. But you follow January and Augustus. I think Augustus writes literary fiction and January writes romance. And they're vacationing at the same place, like on this beach, and they end up trading genres, and I don't really know for sure, but I think that they also fall in love. Is blank color on the cover, and for that one you were supposed to do a poll. I actually did a poll on the Whatever-A-Thon Discord, and they picked rainbow for me, which actually works out pretty well. For the rainbow on my cover, I'm going to be reading I'll Be the One by Lila Lee, because there's yellow, pink, orange, yellow, blue, green, purple, and then on her shirt she's actually wearing a rainbow. I don't know if you can see it, but her shirt is a rainbow shirt, so I'm definitely counting this. Spoiler, I've already read this. It's about this girl who is competing on this K-pop competitive TV show as like a singer or a dancer or both, and this is kind of her journey, and not only that competition show, but also like finding her true value, because she is a bigger girl. So it's kind of her coming of age novel and everything. It was okay. I think I gave it 3 stars. I liked it. It's probably not something that's going to stick with me or something that I'm even going to read again, so I might end up unhauling it at the end of the month, but I did enjoy it while I was reading it. Then a book that was on a previous TBR. For that, I'm picking The Couple Next Door by Sherry Lapina. This is on a TBR like 3 years ago. I got to page like 20 and then I DNF'd it, and I wish I would have kept it as a DNF, because I did finish it this month, and I hated this book. I hate this book with a passion. It was so anticlimactic. Nothing happens except for like the baby goes missing within the very first few pages, and then nothing happens, and the whole reasoning, the whole motives, everything just was terrible. I hated that book. Join the 48-hour readathon. I was planning on it, but I don't remember when it is, so I don't know if I missed it or not. I might still try to join. We'll see. I don't know when it is. So then a spooky book. So for a spooky book, I'm going to read The Diviners by Libba Bray. I think this is spooky, but I don't know for sure. I've never read it. Then read a book from your favorite genre. For that, I'm again going to pick The Couple Next Door by Sherry Lapina. Like I said, I hated that book, but generally speaking, thrillers are my favorite, so I'm still counting it. Do a guilt-free activity, so I can do anything just for myself, and not worry about work or YouTube or any of my responsibilities. I can't wait for that. Hybrid genre, for that I'm picking The Diviners by Libba Bray. This is a paranormal historical fiction mystery that sounds like a lot, but it takes place in the 1920s. She's very, very chunky. And I think that there's ghosts and demons and maybe a ghost hunter, but I don't know for sure. I think it takes place in New York City. Okay, then a free space, a different format. So for a different format, I'm going to read Emily the Strange, Dark Times, a novel. So this is a different format because there's like these little drawings. I don't even know if you can see it or not. But there's drawings, and then there's like lists, and like conversations are kind of laid out interestingly, and it kind of looks like this is Emily's diary, and I don't typically read books like that, so I'm counting this for a different kind of format. Then we have a one-word title. For that, I am reading Afterward by Jennifer Matthewy. Spoiler alert, I've already finished this. This is yet another thriller. This is about this girl. I mean, no, it's not. It's supposed to be about Dylan, who was kidnapped when he was 11. And he was only kidnapped for a few days, but he's nonverbal. I think he has autism. And when he was found with another boy, an older boy named Ethan. But you don't really follow Dylan. You follow Ethan as he's recovering from being held hostage for 4 years. And Dylan's sister's perspective. And I just felt like I wanted more out of the story. It didn't feel real. It just felt fake and phony, and I just felt like I was 3 degrees from this situation. Is that what's 9 degrees? I don't remember. But it didn't work for me. Read a host favorite. For that, I think I'm reading Ashley from a Frolic Through Fictions favorite. Let's see. I'm reading a Frolic Through Fictions favorite. This is The Diviners by Liva Bray. I can't use this again, but I've already talked about it, so I'm not going to talk about it again. Then we have Join Reading Sprints, which I haven't done yet, but I still have 2 more weeks, so hopefully I will be doing that. Continue a series. I'm going to be continuing my Archie series. I'm on Archie Volume 4, but I took it to work with me yesterday and I forgot it there. So I will be continuing it next week. It's like the last letter is the first letter of the next read. So say that I read Afterward, then I could read The Diviners because you don't count the. So it would be Afterward, ends in a D. Diviners starts with a D. Then a purple cover. For that, I'm picking Unsolved Deaths. Already talked about it. Not going to talk about it again. Then a pool. So I haven't put this poll up yet, but I think after this video, I'm going to, hopefully, if I remember. But for another readathon that I'm participating in, I get extra points if I read books with red on the cover. So I picked 6 books that you can pick from that have at least some red on the cover. So Dumpling by Julie Murphy. It has red right here and then there's red right there, so I'm counting it. But I think this is about a pageant mom who has a daughter who is overweight, and the mom is very mean to the daughter because she's overweight. And I think that the daughter runs in the pageant despite her mom saying that she's not pretty and she can't do it. You know, she wants to prove something to her mom and to herself. And I feel like it's going to be very, very hard-hitting. Then there's I Know You Remember, so there's red all right in here. This is red and the back is red, so I'm counting it. This is on my 24 books I have to read this year anyway, so I might as well get it on here. Zara is missing. After 3 long years away, Ruthie arrives in her hometown of Anchorage, Alaska to this devastating news. Zara was Ruthie's best friend, the only person who really understood her, and she vows to do whatever it takes to find her. Paris for Hire by Erin McCarthy. This one you haven't seen yet either. I just got it today. But this is, I'll just tell you what it says. Chicago socialite Amanda thought spending the summer in Cuttsville, Ohio's most haunted town, would be a hoot until dear old dad cut her off. Now Amanda has to do the unthinkable and get a job. Then there's No Offense by Meg Cabot. I think this is about this woman whose engagement gets broken up. I think her fiance leaves her and says he doesn't want to get married, so she ends up moving to the small town in Florida to become a librarian. And then this guy is the sheriff there, I think, and a baby gets left in the bathroom of the library, and she's fighting the sheriff to tell him, hey, no, don't try to arrest the person that left the baby here. Let's try to investigate what's happening, because there's robberies going on. Let's try and investigate and see what's happening regarding the robberies, and let's arrest someone there. Let's just figure out what we can do about the baby situation without getting people in trouble. And I think that they're going to fall in love, so it's going to be like hate to love, and that's one of my favorite things. So then there's Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. I have started this. Again, I haven't made it very far, 50-ish pages. I'm not liking it, so I'm probably going to restart it if this one gets picked. And we have Playing with Matches by Hannah Ornstein. She's supposed to be a matchmaker, but her own love life is going up in flames. And that's all that I read, but I'm really want to read that. I've been kind of in a romancy mood, if you can tell. This is Bella. She thinks life is all about her, because it is. Then I have to pick a book from my least read genre. For that one, I'm picking The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I've already started it. I don't know if you can see my bookmark. It's that far, a quarter of the way. It's okay. It's fantasy. Everyone knows what The Hobbit is, so I'm not really going to pitch it to you. For a book with a weapon on the cover, I'm very much stretching this, but I don't care. It's okay. You see these little, pentagon type shapes in the back? Yes. Well, witches use these kind of shapes to do spells, and sometimes they can curse people with these. So, am I thinking outside the box? Most definitely. But I'm going to be reading Unsolved Deaths for that girl. I have a 2021 release, so for that I'm picking Not a Happy Family by Sherry Lapina. This is a thriller. I think it's an inheritance thriller, which I always hate, so yay. But this follows after these wealthy parents are killed, and I think that one of the children killed their parents. Although I think they're all grown now, but they're still their kids. So there's people silhouettes in the windows. I don't know if you guys can see, probably not. But I think those are all the suspects, and you get differing perspectives to find out who killed the parents. Then our last prompt on the bingo board is to complete a personal goal, so it can literally be any goal. Now we are going to go to the Dessert-a-thon, and I'm on the Cozy Chocolate Chip, the Cozy Cookies team. We are going to be making chocolate chip cookies. We have basic ingredients and unique ingredients. At first, my goal was to read a book for every ingredient so that I can get a lot of points, because this is also a points-based readathon. All these readathons are taking place for the whole month of June, so that's cool. But I don't know if I'm gonna pick one. You know what? I'm gonna pick one for each, but the only ones that I technically have to read are my cookies, my cookie recipe. I think that's fair. Oh, butter, slippery, keep sliding off your TBR. So for that one, I'm going to pick The Couple Next Door by Sherry Lapina. Again, I'm probably going to try to repeat as many books as I can, so I'm not reading a million different books. Buttermilk Sour, low on your TBR. The Serpent King by Jeff Zentner, mostly because I don't know what this one's about, and every time I read the premise, because I have read the premise, it's very forgettable to me. Then Brown Sugar, low or no expectations. Not a Happy Family by Sherry Lapina. Spices, spice up your TBR. For this one, I'm going to pick a Kindle book. I'm going to pick The Deal by Elle Kennedy, which I think is the first in the Briar You series. I have started that book and then I put it down a long time ago. Haven't returned, but I hear that it's pretty spicy. Eggs in a Dozen, a part of a series. So for that, I'm going to read Archie Volume 4. Flower, Back to the Basics, a favorite genre. So for a favorite genre, I'm going to read Thriller, Her Pretty Face by Robin Harding. Again, because I've already read it. So for a monk substitute, I'm picking Jar of Hearts by Jennifer Hillier. Angela, one of the most popular girls in school, disappeared without a trace. Nobody heard from her again. Not her best friend, and not Kaiser, who was close with both girls. 14 years later, Angela's remains are discovered in the woods near Gio's house. Kaiser, now a detective with Seattle PD, finally learns the truth. Angela was a victim of Calvin James. To the authorities, Calvin is a serial killer, but back in high school, he was Gio's first love. Ooh, that sounds messy and delicious. Messy and delicious. Salt. So salty, read a tearjerker. I'm going to read After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is a book about this married couple who is basically taking a break from marriage. They're splitting up for 1 year. And the only rule about the split is that they can't contact each other for that entire year. And there's like no communication whatsoever. And I feel like this one's gonna break my heart, especially as like a married woman. Like I just, oh my gosh, no. It's gonna make me sad. I'm not ready for it. Sugar, sweet. Read a feel-good book. So I'm going to read Beach Read by Emily Henry. Vanilla, standard flavor. Book you keep saying you'll read. Diviners by Whatever-A-Thon. I was actually going to do a vlog last month just reading the Diviners by itself because like she's chunky and I've never done a video where I've just read one book and given you all the spoilers, so I was excited for it and then I just didn't read it, so that video never happened. Okay, so those are all the basic ingredients. Now we're going to go to the unique ingredients, and I'm going to pick one for each. I'm going to pick a book for each ingredient. Apples in season, set in the summer. It also says summer/autumn, but it's summer where I'm at, so I'm going to say summer. Apples in season, set in summer or autumn. This one might change. I'm not even going to lie to you. I looked really hard for books set during the summer, but for some of my books, it's really hard to know when they're set. So I'm going to tentatively put this on my TBR, but if it changes, I'm not going to worry about it. Anyway, that is Campfire Stories. This one definitely takes place in the summer because, like, when do you go camping the most? In the summer. And then it's just a collection of short stories. Then Chocolate Chips, a guilty pleasure read. See, the thing is, I don't really believe in guilty pleasure reads. Like, if you're gonna like it, then read it. For my guilty pleasure read, I'm going to read Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover. Again, this is another book that might change, like this prompt. This prompt will stay the same, but the book I read for it could change. But I've always wanted to read a Colleen Hoover book. She is so beloved and so hyped everywhere, so I kind of just want to see what the hype is all about. So I got Maybe Someday. I don't really know what it's about. I just know, Colleen Hoover. Cocoa Powder, Unsweetened, a nonfiction, classic, or serious toned book. For that, I'm picking Unsolved Deaths. There's Nuts Chopped, Friend, Pet, etc. Choice. Actually, my husband he actually picked two of the books on my TBR, but I'm going to pick Emily the Strange, Dark Times for this one. He picked this one for part of my June TBR, so. Then Puff Pastry, Puffed Up, a hyped book. So for a hyped book, I'm going to read Beach Read by Emily Henry. Filiodo, Very Thin, a novella or a short story. Again, this one could change depending on my mood, but I think that this book is like 78 pages, so like 80 pages, and it's like this an affair with the boss or something like that, but I'll put a picture. It's on my Kindle. It's basically a steamy workplace romance that's forbidden with the boss. Food coloring, Seeing Red, read a book with a red cover. So I am also participating in Marvel-A-Thon, and my color is red, so the more red books that I read, the more points my team will get. So for that one, I think I'm going to pick Playing with Matches by Hannah Ornstern. I've already talked about this a little bit because it will be part of my pool pick as well. Then there's Strawberries Keep It Fresh, published in the last 12 months. Whew, 12 months. This was published in August of 2021. This is Not a Happy Family by Sherry Lapina. Then Vinegar Acid, Get It Over With, Continue or Finish a Series. Since I already have volume 4 of Archie, I'm also going to put volume 5 of Archie on this list, which means that I only have volume 6 left after this one. So, yay, I'm continuing the series. And the last one is Whipped Cream, Whip It Up, Outside Your Usual Genre. For that, I'm going to pick The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. You know, you shouldn't be surprised by that one at all at this point. Okay, that is our second readathon. Let's get into the NSFW-a-thon, Not Safe for Work-a-thon, crowning round. So this takes place all month. It's basically you're pregnant. There are 30 prompts, and each part of your pregnancy has a different prompt. You don't have to do all 30, and you can double up or triple up or quadruple up or however much you need, you know? Like, you don't have to read 30 different books. In fact, that's crazy. I'm not doing that. But it seems fun, and Paige from Pages with Paige is the one that's putting on this readathon. Like I said, I'm going to try and link everyone down below. So, yeah, let's get into it. The first one was Sperm Donor, Have Someone Else Pick a Book. I'm going to try to insert that footage right here because I did already film this, and I had my husband pick this prompt for me already. Hey, babe.
What?
Can you donate some sperm?
To you? Yeah.
It's a prompt for a readathon. It's the Not Safe for Work readathon, and this time it's pregnancy. So for Sperm Donor, I need you to pick me a book. You're for pregnancy. I know.
Because that's what it is when you ask me to do that. See it? Because that's what it is when you ask me to donate sperm, and it turns out to be just me picking you a book.
As you can see, he picked A Sucky Love Story by Brittany Louise Taylor. And this is a nonfiction memoir about using like Tinder and Bumble and, you know, all those dating apps and some disastrous dating stories. So, seems like a funny book. Then, Ultrasound, A Cold Word or Colors in the title or on the cover. So, for cold words on the title, or it says cold words or colors in the title or on the cover. I'm picking Her Pretty Face by Robin Harding because there's rain on the cover. It's very blue and kind of mysterious. Then Braxton Hicks, Read a Prequel, which I have The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. Perennial Pairing, a book you'll tear through, a book you'll read really quick. So Archie Volume 4 and 5, I'll put both of them for that one. Then Breach, read in a different format than you normally would. So Emily the Strange. Epidural, read a book that will remove your pain. She is kind of becoming a comfort read for me, so I'm going to say Archie Volume 4 or 5. Either way. Volume 4 is in my classroom right now, though. Then Laughing Gas, read a funny book. For that one, I'm going to pick A Sucky Love Story. Dilation, read a book that will stretch your mind. So for that, I'm going to pick Unsolved Deaths. Stretch marks, read a book with a beautiful cover. Honestly, you could really pick anything for this, but I am going to be picking Not a Happy Family by Sherry Lapina. I just think it looks mysterious and ominous and surprise, it's twins, read a duology. I don't think I have a duology on my TBR right now. Swollen feet, kick your feet up and relax. Cool, no book prop, just get to relax, which I normally do when I read anyway. Back pain, read a book with a broken spine. Honestly, that could be any of my books because I love breaking my spines. But let's just go with Her Pretty Face by Robin Harding for this one. Like, it's severely broken. You're welcome. I love breaking the spines of my books. Placenta pills, read a book that's questionable in taste. Unsolved Deaths by Charles Phillips. Water breaking, read a book that you think you'll be gushing over. Water breaking, read a book you think you'll be gushing over. For that one, I'm picking After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid. If it's anything anywhere near as good as One True Love is by this author, I'm going to love this, and I won't be able to shut up about it. Morning sickness, read sometime in the morning. Easy enough. Water birth, read in the bath or read a book with water in it. I'll just read something when I take a bath. Actually, I've already done that this month, so I'm on track. That's good. First trimester, start a new series. For that, I'm picking The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. Second trimester, read a series continuation, Archie Volume 4. Third trimester, read a book in this series you are almost done with, Archie Volume 5. Yep. And there's only 6 in the series. Fourth trimester, read a children's book. Okay, so I'm a teacher. I read picture books to my kids every day. Even every day in summer school, I make sure that I read them a book. So I'm going to count any of those books that I read. Parental leave, do something for yourself. Good. Swollen boobs, read a big book, More Than a Handful. The Diviners by Libba Bray. Leaky tits, read a book from a publisher or author that's milking the industry. Either Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover or After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Lack of sleep, read at night. Cool, I do that a lot anyway. Pregnancy pillow, snuggle down with a book. Easy. Prepping the nursery, build your collection, treat your shelf. So for treat your shelf, I'm probably going to read Beach Read by Emily Henry because I just bought this today. Baby brain, I can't remember the prompt, so mood read or read a book of your choice. Pregnancy cravings, fulfill that snack attack. Yeah. And the final piece, read a book in one sitting. I'm probably going to pick like Archie Volume 4 or 5. So that is all the prompts for that readathon. We are finally on our last readathon, I think. No, we are not. We have 2 readathons left. So we are on Marvel-a-thon. So I am part of Team Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch. So, these are the prompts that everyone has to fulfill. I'll get back to. So these are the prompts that everyone has to fulfill for the readathon. And then these are books or prompts that will get me extra points for my team. So I'm going to start with the ones that I must complete, and then the extra ones that will get me more points. Captain America, a 5-star prediction. I do think that After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid is going to be 5 stars, so I'm going to count it. Typically, I would only pick books that were in that video, but I really want to get books that I already have on my TBR. I don't want to have to pick a million books, like I've said before. Okay, X-Men, a dysfunctional or found family. I'm going to say The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I kind of feel like Bilbo goes on this adventure and he finds a bunch of friends. I think. I haven't read this in so long, and like I have started it, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to count it though, because I can. Then Captain Marvel, a book with a female protagonist. Betrayed by Emily Henry. I mean, this has January and Augustus perspective, so they're both the main characters, but I'm counting it because I can again. Miles Morris, any graphic novel. Archie, Volume 4 and 5. Iron Man, a pool-picked book. Okay, so we already went over that pool, but I have one more pool pick. So I'm going to quickly go through these. So let me just jump ahead real quick. Since I'm part of the Scarlet Witch's team, I will get bonus points if I read a book with witches in the title or the story. I will get extra points if I read a book that has heartbreak in it. And I will get extra points if I read red books, like the color red. So we already have the color red going for a different pool pick. Now this one is going to have the word witch, or it's going to be about a witch. So yeah, there's witches, sluts, and feminists. Conjuring, the sex positive. This is nonfiction about witches, sluts, and feminists. Then The Weeping Forest by Alyssa West. This is about a living forest, and I think witches live there and kind of control it. So that's cool. Payback's a Witch by Lana Harper. I really hope this one doesn't win because I have started this. I don't like it. It kind of reminds me of the X-Hex, which I didn't love. This is worse than the X-Hex though. Witches of Ash and Ruin by E. Latimer. It says, the witches are gathering, the gods are hunting, and ancient evil will wake. Poison Study by Marie V. Snyder. This is Magic, Mayhem, and Murder. House of Ivy and Sorrow by Natalie Whipple. This is about a house in the middle of the forest where a witch lives, but secretly 2 witches live there and no one in town knows. And Spelled by Betsy Scowl. This is Oz retelling. Sorry if the angle changed at all. My SD card was full, so I had to take the camera off, go fix my SD card, and come back. So, we are on our last readathon. Woo! So I'm going to try and go through this as quick as possible. So my last readathon is the seasonathon, which is put on by Melanie from Completely Melanie, Kalani from Kalani Simply Me, and Clint from Readers Reads. Like I said, I'm going to link everything down below. This year they did it slightly differently. Since they all play different TBR games, they each played a round of the game, and they picked their prompts right there, and you got to pick whose team you wanted to be on based on the prompts, or you could base it on whatever you wanted. I based it on the prompts and which ones I could easily enough fulfill. So I'm going to be on Camp Counselor Kalani's team. So Kalani, simply me and you are on the same team. So I'm going to quickly go through these. The first one is Campfire Stories, Read the Group Book, which is The Nature of Witches, by Rachel Griffin. I have it on Audible. I have it on script, I think. I don't know. I have it on audiobook somehow. A book I never thought I would read. The Diviners by Libba Briggs. And number 3 was a 2021 release. So for that, I'm picking Not a Happy Family by Sherry Lapina. An ebook, which is The Deal by Elle Kennedy. A contemporary, which is Beach Read by Emily Henry. Part of your priority top list. I have 24 books that I need to read in 2022 because me and my friends did this book exchange, which I'll link up here. You could go check it out. But basically, me and my 2 besties gifted each other 12 books last year, and that was my priority for this year. So for that, I'm picking I'll Be the One by Lila Lee. This was gifted to me from Michael, and I did already read it this month, so whew. But yeah, there's that. Then favorite author. For favorite author, I'm going to be reading Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. Read a sequel, so for that one I'm going to read Archie Volume 4 and 5. Then a TBR jar. So I'll link my June TBR right here, but I did have a punishment pick because I didn't finish my TBR in May. And for my punishment pick, I picked out of a jar, and I picked The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. So I'm going to count that. Then a 5-star prediction. For my 5-star prediction, I'm picking After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid, like I've already talked about. And then my last prompt is a 2022 release. Book might change. I doubt it because this is one that I'm super excited for. But it could potentially change to one of the other books that I have on my shelf. For right now, I'm going to pick Breathless by Amy McClouch. This is a thriller about this reporter who goes to this mountain to interview this guy who is a mountain climber. And then when she gets there, like, people start dying one by one. So it's like an isolated thriller, and there's a killer, and it just sounds really good. So I am super excited for this, but the thing that it might be changed out for is the lifestyle. It's a romance, contemporary romance, kind of, I think. But either way, I will be reading a 2022 release right now. I'm thinking it's going to be this. Like I said, a few of them might change. But that is all 5 of the readathons that I'm taking part in. And all the books that I'm reading for all the prompts. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're new around here. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!